All right, Batman vs Superman. So I know that people just want to hear my thoughts on the movie and they don't really care about much else. But quickly, I just want to say that I love the original Superman from the '70s with Christopher Reeve. I was a kid when those came out, and one and two are incredible. That's really just one long movie, and those two movies are incredible. I still think they're the two best, definitely the two best Superman movies ever made, and really two of the best comic book movies to this day that were ever made. I can't remember the director's name, Richard Donner, I think it was, and I think those were great. And since then, and I was a kid at that time, I've always loved comic book movies. So this new craze of comic book movies is something I've been really excited about. And to say the least, I've been excited about Batman vs Superman. They announced this 3 years ago and was pushed back a whole year because they wanted to perfect some things. There are some things that they weren't comfortable with and they needed another year. And I was annoyed by that, but I thought, well, if it makes the movie better, then that's okay. So I went to see it tonight. I just got back 20 minutes ago from the movie. It's like 2 in the morning right now. And so here are my thoughts. I hated it. I really did, and it's 100% the direction. This is Zack Snyder. It's really a movie. It's a collection of scenes. Like the scenes are really disjointed and they're just random. Like sometimes I don't know what the characters are doing or what their motivations are, why one character doesn't like another character. And it was kind of a way for the Justice League to be set up, and a lot of it was just really forced, and some of it didn't make sense. I thought Ben Affleck was fine as Batman. I thought he was really good as Batman. I like Henry Cavill as Batman. He's fine. Gal Gadot, I know everyone was worried about her. She was fine in it. She has this is a spoilers video, so she has a really big fist bump moment during the Doomsday fight. I thought the Doomsday fight was incredible. I thought that was really well done. And that's what Zack Snyder does. He's great at filming action. He's terrible at filming a story. When I go to a movie, I think most Americans are pretty feeble-minded, and they like their Michael Bay entertainment. And that's what this is. That's what I call it, Michael Bay entertainment, where it's all action and there's really no story. There's no nuanced acting that's going on. I don't mean that to sound pretentious or anything, but I just look for more in movies than just explosions. And I felt like that's what was going on, and it turned out to be a spectacle instead of an interesting movie, and more importantly, an interesting story, like The Dark Knight. This is an example of a great movie where you do have this spectacle going on, and you also have an interesting story going on that's very well told. And to be honest, Zack Snyder, he's just not capable of doing that. Even a movie like 300, which I love 300, but that movie's mostly spectacle, and it's the way that it was shot, in big set action pieces and stuff like that. But, the story itself is very basic. And Zack Snyder, he doesn't know how to tell a detailed story, and that's the whole problem with Batman vs. Superman. So I thought it really lacked as far as plot points. Batman and Superman don't like each other. Obviously, they fight in the movie. You don't really even know why they're fighting. I was watching it, and I remember thinking, why do they don't really build like why they don't like each other. And certainly why Superman wouldn't like Batman. So I know he says that he's a vigilante, and I guess that he doesn't like that. But it's just it like I said before, it's really disjointed. And the whole movie, it's just one sloppy scene put together after another. The editing is atrocious. And Zack Snyder has a lot to say about the editing, so it's not like he turns it over to the editor, and then the editor puts out the movie he wants. Zack Snyder's the director, and he has final say in that. So what's worse is I really hated Man of Steel. I know some people like that, which baffles me because I thought it was so bad it was laughable. You have a world engine. You have a guy flying around. You have Superman's dad flying around on a dog that's like a dragon or something. You have the Codex, I think it's called, and the little baby skull. It was really stupid. Kryptonite's not in it. They talk about atmospherics and so on and so forth. It was really dumb. I thought it was terrible. And Batman vs Superman might be even worse than Man of Steel. And I don't understand what DC is thinking. Zack Snyder is just not the guy to be on this franchise. I don't understand. They're throwing the entire DCU, which is $1 billion or more, that they're throwing away. I mean, they're going to sink $1 billion into this universe, and they're putting Zack Snyder on it. It blows my mind. So I'm not excited for the DCU whatsoever. Zack Snyder they're starting Justice League. They're starting to film, I think, this month, and they've hired him to direct again. I think he's going to do 1 and 2. And I can just expect more of the same. So I'm excited for Wonder Woman because Zack Snyder's not directing that. But outside of that, I'm not excited for anything with the DCU. Marvel has to be doing cartwheels over this. They're really excited. But anything past Wonder Woman is just, I don't even know if I'll go see it in the movie theater. So it does nothing for me. I'm super excited about Marvel and Civil War, but not Justice League or anything with the DCU but Wonder Woman. So that's my thought on the movie. If I was going to give it a grade, because the Doomsday fight is really good at the end, I would give it a C-. If that fight wasn't in it, this would be a D, a solid D. So that's my thoughts on it. And it's not that I would say I don't recommend going to see it, but just go in with knowing what you're getting into. It is a spectacle. It is something. It's a conversation piece. It's a popular thing in American culture right now, and people are going to be curious to see that. But don't expect to see a great film. You might expect to see some fun comic book elements, but certainly not a great film. So that's my opinion. If people disagree, I don't have a problem with that. And if you want to add comments, I'd be more than happy to read them. Thank you very much.